Lauren, why don't we start with you?
Sure. Hi, I'm Lauren Lipsay. I'm a senior English major, and I was at Rolling Stone this summer. And as a music person and a writing person, I couldn't have asked for a better experience. Everyone at the office is just fantastic, from both their knowledge to their writing to their enthusiasm, and it was a great place to be this summer.
Suitably brief. That's very good. Let me also emphasize, I left out the most important thing, which is these are paid internships. And last summer we were able to provide, I think it's $4,000, and we're hoping to match or exceed that amount this summer. So just FYI. Hannah, who is at MTV.
Hi, I'm Hannah McDonnell. I am a senior English major, and I worked at MTV Networks this summer in the creative services department, and I was a copywriting intern, which essentially means I got to do a ton of writing every day, and I wrote a lot of copy for ads and a lot of taglines. And we did a lot of things called naming projects, which essentially meant coming up with a clever name for, like for example, we did a project that Paramount was working. We got to work on coming up with a cool name for that. So if you like writing puns or coming up with clever wordplay, that was basically what I did every day in list form and over and over and over again. So it was really a lot of fun, and it was definitely a great experience for me in writing.
Thanks, Hannah. I should mention also we have another person who is not able to be here today, Sarah Stoker, who is at Brooklyn Films. Brooklyn Films is a production company. Brooklyn, you all know. Many people believe Philadelphia is the new Brooklyn. I won't belabor that point. But Chris, who is at Surefire Media, why don't you tell us a little bit about what Surefire Media is and about what you were doing there?
Well, Surefire Media is a small, they call themselves a boutique PR company, which means it does public relations it focuses on musical artists, but it's extremely small, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it because as an intern, I got to really work with the PR teams and kind of do hands-on stuff. I got to listen in on a conference call with one of my musical heroes, actually Warren Haynes, who is one of the Surefire Media clients. So it was an extremely rewarding experience because of the size and because of how hands-on I got to interact with everything.
Mention some of the other musicians whom Surefire works with, if you...
Well, the kind of flagship client that Surefire has is Bruce Springsteen, who's friends with the president of the company, I believe. And some other clients are Elvis Costello, Nora Jones was one of them, Herbie Hancock. So it kind of runs the gamut, actually, from like jazz to pop. The National is an indie band that just kind of got booked, I think, a couple years ago. So.
Good. Thanks, Chris. Emily, who is with David Stern and Stuart Gibbs, tell us about them, what they do, and what you were doing with them.
So I was in LA, and I got to work with two different writers. I wasn't at a company, so I really got to see what an individual writer would be doing on a day-to-day basis, which was really exciting. We worked on a ton of different things, everything from television to film. David was working on an animated film, so I was in a studio for that almost every day. And Stuart was also in the process of writing several different books, so I ended up helping him with that as well. I guess the one thing that I learned was that if you want to make money as a writer, you really have to be very flexible and be willing to do a lot of different things, and it was really exciting to get to see that.
Great. Naomi, who's at the Philadelphia Inquirer.
Hi. My internship was like a ton of fun. I was at the editorial board of the Inquirer, which is like where they have a lot of news internships, but they've never really had an intern on the editorial board before. And I was it was like all up to my own initiative. I could pitch stories. I wrote like pieces for the blog every day about like opinions on state or city issues or things relevant to people my age. I was very flexible. A bunch of my pieces appeared on the opinion page of the paper, and it was a really great experience.
James Lamar, who was at the Granary Press. Thanks, Naomi.
So I was at a small-scale publisher called Granary Books, and it was great. It was really small office. I worked with 2 or 3.
Where are they located?
In Manhattan, in Soho. And it was great. I got to work at my own pace. I ended up with about 2 larger projects that I worked with over a couple of months, archiving and helping get published the works of 2 different poets' lives, basically. And so I got to work on my own deadlines, and it really taught me how to, set a pace for myself over a long period of time. And yeah.
Terrific. Kristen Martin, who was at Philadelphia Magazine. Kristen, tell us what that was like.
Yeah, I had an internship at Philly Mag this summer, and I worked specifically for the food editor, so I was kind of her assistant, which was great. It was a different intern experience than you normally get when you work at Philly Mag. I didn't have to do fact-checking, really. I was able to write copy pretty much every day for the online food blog, and I also had a couple of articles published in the print edition of the magazine. And yeah, it was a great experience to kind of learn more about the city that I study in and to get to know the food scene really well.